Yo, what is going on, growmies? Hope y'all are doing well, growing well. In today's video, I'm going to teach you really quickly and easily the best and most simple way to take macro photography using your phone or any camera that you have. If you take a picture right now, you'll notice that a lot of the plant is not in focus, and that's because the camera can only focus at specific distances. Using those specific distances to our advantage, we can take many different photos at many different focal lengths and then in the end combine them via PhotoStack to give us one clear image. I have practiced photography for over 8 years now, and I can say this method can be learned very quickly and easily in less than 5 minutes. In order to start, step 1, you need a manual camera. Personally, I have the most budget 10-plus-year-old DSLR camera that you can buy, but I'll also show you how you can do it on the phone. If you are using the phone, it is vital that you get a manual focus app, otherwise you cannot continue. In this case, I'm using the Blackmagic camera to show a manual focus video, but I recommend these photo apps if you really want to try it on your own. Now that we have our manual camera, step 2. Next, we need to find our subject to photograph. In this case, today we'll be photographing a unique, exotic, purple carrot pheno, St. Expeditus. Now I will preface, this video is not a complete, confusing, overwhelming, in-depth guide on how to use a camera and all the terminology. This video is just to teach you how to get the job done, bare bones. Which leads to step 3, setting up the shot. To take macros, you need a tripod or some type of setup to where your camera does not move. This also means that there can be no wind or airflow when taking these pictures. Now, to set up my shots, I first look for my favorite flowers. Then I move the camera as close as possible to where the nearest focal length is still in focus. If you get too close, you'll notice that the camera will never focus as it has a minimum distance that it can. Once we find our minimum distance for the closest and most magnified macro shots, it's time to start taking pictures. At this point, it's really up to you on how extensive you want this photography session to be. For macro focus stacking, technically you only have to take 2 pictures, but my highest quality images come from taking 50 to 100 plus pictures. In today's video, for quick demonstration purposes, and since I broke my main lens for macro photography, we are doing less than 30 photos, but it's all up to you. Anyways, our first picture is the closest focal length of the subject possible. In this case, when I take the picture, I use a timer, so that way the button press moving the camera does not blur the image. It is very important to use a timer or a secure method because we cannot move the camera or subject at all. I keep saying this, but I can't stress it enough. If you move anything, you'll have to start all over. And when you're at image 70, it sucks. Anyways, the next steps are to continuously take photos of the varying focal lengths until you get to the very end of your subject's focus range. Now, this leads us to step 4. In order to edit my photos, I prefer the old-time classic, but light years ahead, Photoshop. To start editing these photos and combine them into one image, I just drag one by one each raw file, which can take a while. As I upload the photos, I make sure that the images are the exact same frame, with little to no movement. And once all of our photos are in, we now let the AI do the work for us after rasterizing all image layers. With every layer selected, auto align all images, and then auto blend photo stack. And there you go. The computer calculated exactly every defined sharp photo focal point and combined the image into one. If you try to do this by hand, it takes hours and days, and honestly it just takes too much work, so it's better to have a focus stacking application. Personally, I like Photoshop, and every other alternative that I've tried, they just don't work as well. But there we go. Now we have some beautiful macro shots of St. Expeditus, purple carrot pheno, using the ultimate budget lens and setup. Depending on what lens setup you have, you can create some really amazing professional photos that look like they could be in a magazine, like NUGSHOTS. If you guys have any questions in the comments, let me know. My camera is basically my third eye and a mechanical extension at this point, so I know a lot about the art. Anyways, as always, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and comment. If you haven't seen my other grow/mock reports, check them out. Keep it up out there, growmies, and stay motivated in this beautiful medicinal hobby. #GrowMeGang.